We can't alert you if we can't reach you. Sign up now for Jackson County Citizen Alert.
I get emergency alerts on my cell phone.
My kids' school alerts by text.
Alerts to my business come to my email.
I made sure Mom and Dad's alerts go to their phone first, mine second.
But we can't alert you if we can't reach you. So sign up now at jacksoncounty.org/alert and get your alert exactly like you want it. Citizen Alert. It's free, so sign up today.
So what really brought this into focus was the Siskiyou fire and the Deer Ridge fire. During those fires, we had to evacuate an area of homes that were being threatened by the fire. And at that time, we had a really old reverse 911 system that didn't have very much capacity, and it actually didn't work properly during the fire. And we realized it was time to replace that system. Technology had come a long way, and we wanted to be able to have a lot more functionality like the Citizen Alert system has, where people could be notified via means other than landline telephones.
We had observed nationwide some systems, some callback systems that didn't work very well. In Colorado, there was the instance of a callback system that failed at a pretty critical time in a wildland fire. And so it was pretty well known, or pretty well received, that we needed to have a system that county-wide was going to work, and it was going to reach the right people with the right message.
Well, for the city of Ashland, any system would have been an upgrade because we didn't have one. And that really came into play on the Siskiyou fire several years ago because we wanted to launch evacuation notifications and couldn't. We, at that point, basically had our 1700 radio, emergency radio that the city of Ashland operates, and also a smoke and wildfire hotline. Both of those systems were overwhelmed almost immediately and basically became dysfunctional. They've since been upgraded, but we were looking to do that and really create a triad, if you will, of communication outreach. And the mass notification system is really the optimum.
We really felt it was important to have a regional solution so that all the emergency officials in the whole area could cooperate and use the same system, and so that individual cities and the county didn't have to buy their own separate systems and pay their own separate price. By combining our efforts, combining our funds, we were able to buy a better system for less money, encourage cooperation between the agencies, and Jackson County Emergency Management was able to get a federal grant to cover the first 2 years of the cost of the system. And that's a great savings to the taxpayers of the county.
We worked very closely with Medford, and particularly Jackson County, and the emergency manager there, Mike Curry, had been looking to upgrade the teleminder system as well. So the timing was there, and he had some grant funds coming in, and it really has worked quite well. I think that hats off to Jackson County, the marriage, and anytime you have a partnership of multiple jurisdictions, I'm sure it can be a challenge, but it really has gone off quite well.
It is very important that the county and all the cities and fire districts and jurisdictions work together and collaborate on this project. We work inside of a very regionalized system. No standalone individual entity can do everything all by itself. And so on any major incident, any incident where we would use the Everbridge system, there will be multiple jurisdictions involved and potentially multiple jurisdictions that need to get multiple messages out to multiple people groups. If we take the Deer Ridge fire that happened in Medford in 2009, the fire started inside the city limits of Medford. It was adjacent to a very large suburban residential housing area. It started in the city limits, it spread into the rural fire district, and ultimately it spread into the Oregon Department of Forestry protected lands. It affected multiple jurisdictions, in this case from around the state, and there was the potential that we were going to have to do widespread evacuations to some of these suburban subdivisions and also some of the rural homes that were kind of scattered throughout. So I can see in a situation like that when you need to get a very specific message out in a very timely manner to a select group of people, that the Everbridge system is very well suited for that. The reason that I like Everbridge is because of the multiple ways of notifying people. So you could use the example of somebody who lives in a certain location but works in a different location and maybe has their children go to school in a third location. And I'm talking a fairly large regional area. to be able to set up multiple notifications for multiple areas, and also they could reach you via text message or email or all these communication methods. To me, that was a big seller.
It's probably becoming increasingly important because the number of conventional landlines or home phones that are hardwired in is being reduced all the time. People are relying more and more on cell phones. If you're relying strictly on cell phones and you don't opt in, you will not receive an emergency message. It's not going to get to you. We have no way of knowing that. So there's a couple advantages to opting in. One is you, again, can define how you're notified and what priority. If you feel that the best way to get a hold of you is through your cell phone, then you can decide, well, is it going to be voice or text? All cell phones will receive text. We encourage text because when the cell phone network is compromised, text will get through quicker than voice. But that's your call. The other thing is you can receive messages about areas of concern, maybe not your residence, your kid's school, your parents' residence, other areas that you may have concern about your business. Also, friends and relatives outside the area, if they're concerned, say they have elderly parents in this area, they can opt in through Medford, Ashland, Jackson County, and they will in turn receive notifications about their area of concern, their parents' house or what have you. So it really does broaden the usefulness of the system. It's state of the art.
Also, the ease of launching the messages. When we're in the middle of a large-scale event, we don't have time to fight a system or to relearn a system or to try and figure out how to make the thing work. And Everbridge seems it's very simple to launch the message when you need to let it go.
We did have our first notification go out. It wasn't an emergency notification. It's what they classify as a community notification. And when people opt in, they can opt in for a variety of notifications. The emergency is understood, and we would launch those anyway. But people can also opt in for missing persons, public works event, or other, and this classifies as a public works event. We had the central portion of Ashland experience a failure of one of our electrical substations due to an animal crossing the connectors with predictable results. And anyway, we lost electrical power to the majority of the community. So we were able to launch that notification, and it went out to those who have opted in to receive those miscellaneous community-based notifications, not an emergency.
We really want to make sure that we're the ones putting out the message, because we've run into situations in the past where a message was perpetuated by non-official means, and it was well-meaning or not, it was the wrong message, and it can really cause consternation among the public, but it clearly causes confusion and potentially danger. So we want to make sure that we have the ability to give the correct message to the people.
So the biggest challenge for us in getting this rolled out to the community was not really setting up the system. It's a web-based system, and that made it relatively easy and quick to deploy. It's really getting the word out, getting people to register, because if people don't register, it doesn't have nearly as much value as it does if people put in their cell phones and other ways to contact them. If people register, then we can reach them wherever they are instead of just only landline telephones.
We can't alert you if we can't reach you. Sign up now for Jackson County Citizen Alert.
I get emergency alerts on my cell phone.
My kids' school alerts by text.
Alerts to my business come to my email.
I made sure Mom and Dad's alerts go to their phone first, mine second.
But we can't alert you if we can't reach you. So sign up now at jacksoncounty.org/alert and get your alert exactly like you want it. Citizen Alert. It's free, so sign up today.